What you doing? Let's see. Bailey says, welcome back to the channel. We're cooking some barbecue today. It's just dog will leave me alone. Go, let me have it and I'll throw it. All right, forget you then. All right, forget her. We're gonna tend to this lang over here. We've got a fire going this morning. Got this thing good and hot. We got it up to about 350. I always cook with these vents wide open. I alternate between cracking my door open and leaving it shut, depending on my fire. That's kind of how I adjust my fire. Everything else stays wide open. If I want more heat, if I want to get it up to like 350, 400, I crack this door. If I want to choke it back down to about 250, 225 or 200 to 250 range, that's where I smoke most of my stuff. I just leave it shut. So that's kind of how I manage my fire. I know everybody's got their own little ways. You can adjust your vents and choke things down, and I just haven't needed to really. I just manage it with wood. Maybe I'm wasting wood that way. I don't know. Maybe I'll try different ways with the flaps later. But today, back to the point of what we're doing here today. Stuff on my lens. All right, we're gonna cook a brisket. We're gonna cook a Boston butt, pork shoulder, whatever you want to call it, and we're gonna cook 3 racks of ribs. We're gonna eat the ribs for tonight. It's let's see, what time is it? 9:55 a.m. We got a good fire going. That thing's ready to roll. I'm gonna throw a water pan in it real quick, and I'm gonna go ahead and prep my butt and my brisket. I'm gonna worry about the ribs a little bit later. I don't need them on nearly as long as the brisket in the Boston butt. I've been playing around with wraps. I've always wrapped with aluminum foil when I was doing briskets on my egg, and it turned out great. But the more I study this, the art of barbecue and briskets especially, I've been, branching out and trying different methods. So we tried paper last time, and we wrapped it in paper and we put it in an aluminum serving tray and put it back on to get through the, punch through the stall. I've done aluminum foil on it. This time we're going to try to do them unwrapped. Probably not the ribs, but the brisket and the Boston butt we're going to do unwrapped and see how that goes. If I decide that it looks like I'm killing it, being like really killing it, like turning my bark into beef jerky or something, I will wrap them. I'm going to try a couple different little deals with the tallow. I might put some tallow on a couple times during the cook just to keep everything moist. That's a total experiment. I know I usually spray with apple juice. I have sprayed with apple juice or apple cider vinegar in the past and mixing it with water. I really do like to spray with apple juice, but and I do have a little bit of apple juice, but we're going to try the tallow, which is just rendered down brisket fat from my last brisket cook. And if you watch that video, you'll see where I rendered that fat down and bottled it. Basically put some in a mason jar, put some in a little, like a mustard squirt bottle. So she's good and hot. I'm gonna scrape it real quick and prep my meat and throw them on here. Hopefully I won't be cooking till 2 o'clock in the morning like I usually do. Hopefully we'll be throwing this brisket on here in about 30 minutes, which will make it 10:30 if I can keep my flow going here, and hopefully by 10 o'clock tonight it'll be off and it'll be wrapped. I will wrap it to stick it in the cooler for it to rest. It'll rest overnight in the cooler. All right. Ooh, it's smoky. Ooh. That'll burn your eyes. All right, got me watered up. She hadn't cleaned totally up yet. We still got we've got some big logs in here. I was trying to get a good ripping fire going where we got some coals. So we're gonna let that burn down for 30 minutes that I've got to prep the meat. And this will also be a top rack cook, especially since we're not wrapping anything. We don't have a lot to cook, so we're not doing a bunch of chicken like we normally do. Just the brisket, the Boston butt, and the ribs. So it'll all go on the top rack. All right, the meat we're using today is from Sam's. Not sponsored, but that's where I got it. 17 pounds, 17.12. It's $2.92 a pound. $49.99, 50 bucks. USDA Prime, and $1.44 a pound, 7.61 pounds of Boston butt at $10.96. I mean, talking 60 bucks for enough meat for 2 weeks. It's a pretty good deal there. So look at this dog. What are you doing, dog? You want in the house? You want in? All right. Come on in. She wants to play, but I don't have time right now. If you remember the last cook, if you follow, I cut my finger by jamming my hand down in the garbage can at the human trash compactor. Will not be doing that today, or probably ever again. Learned my lesson. Thumb healed up nicely. We'll trim some fat. I'm gonna leave a little more fat on than I normally do because I'm going to do something I normally don't do, and that is cook it fat side down. Since I want to try this unwrapped, we're going to try it fat side down at the same time. maybe we'll have a little more protection since we're not wrapping. I do want to get some more of that tough fat off. Get a little bit more of that off the corner. Well, as you can hear, I've got the fan going because I opened that pork and it is rancid. It was in date when I bought it. It's set for about 3 days in the refrigerator, along with the brisket and my ribs. Hopefully my ribs are good. I don't think it's anything I did, but it is going straight in the garbage. I gotta get it out of this house. It's stinking it up. All right, well, it sucks. That's twice in the last month I've gotten rancid meat from Sam's. One was a big, like a $27 piece of salmon. It was totally nasty the day after I bought it. I should have took it back, but I didn't. It's about 25-minute drive each way to get down there, and I'm gonna say something to them when I go in there next. I don't know if they'll do anything, but that's $27 and $10 basically. So let's just say 40 bucks. And you know, wasted time. So that sucks. Hopefully the ribs will be okay when I pull those out of the refrigerator in a little while. We're gonna go ahead and finish prepping this brisket. And today we are gonna do a little bit of a mayonnaise base instead of mustard. I do this on quite a lot of my meat, and especially with the salmon. Some people call it a slather, call it whatever you want. I call it a moisturizer because it's exactly what it does. Slowly turns to oil. It absorbs smoke very well. That's all she wrote on that. Sometimes I make a honey roast or honey mustard deal. I call it honey roasted barbecue. Sometimes I add barbecue sauce to honey mustard, but mustard works very well too. It works like a glue, and sometimes I use both. It's working it in real good. Basically salt, pepper, garlic. Try to keep killing too much of my rub. I'll flip it over into a dry pan. What I'll do with these two pans is I'll turn these into my water pans. I'll fill them up with water, set them in there. That'll be all I need for that long cook. Be plenty of moisture in the chamber, plenty of smoke, plenty of seasoning. It's just a shame that I fired up that 84D for just a brisket and 3 racks of ribs, but it's still gonna be good. It's just a lot of wood for just a small meal. I could have cooked this on my Weber or my egg or whatever. I could have used $10 worth of charcoal maybe. All right, lonely little brisket. Go on. Top rack. Got the fat side down. I'm going to do the airflow is going this way, so I'm going to put the hump towards the heat and the airflow, so it's going to go across it like an arrow. That is my theory, at least. I may grab the rub and touch that up here in a minute. I'll put some water in this pan. I've already got one in. We'll have 2 water pans. That should be good for a good 12-hour cook, 14-hour cook. Get that seasoning down in that water. Touching up my rub here. Somebody was asking me in the last video where I got this for pulling my grate in and out. This came with my big green egg. I think this is originally for scooping ashes out. That's what I use it for, at least, out of the bottom of my big green egg. But it works great for hooking that grate and pulling it out without having to burn your hands or look for temperature, you know, some heat gloves or something. So I just pull it in and out with that. Works great. Well, we're on a quest for the perfect brisket off this 84D. We're still in experimental mode. Stay tuned. We will be trying different things until we get it where I think it's perfect. Now, I've watched other YouTubers cooking brisket and cooking Boston butts and doing taste tests with neighbors and friends and stuff like that, which is great. It's an awesome way to figure out if your food's any good, I guess, besides doing it just for your own tastes, because everybody's taste is a little different. And I was watching one guy, and he's taking it to his neighbors, and they all had pretty much different opinions. And a husband and wife, one liked, he cooked one, I can't remember the guy's name, but he cooked one North Carolina style, vinegar based deal, and he cooked one Texas style, salt pepper. And he was in Texas. He's a Texas guy, and he did a taste test. I think they decided Texas won. He liked the North Carolina style the best. One of his neighbors that had a husband and wife trying it, one liked one liked the other. So it's all personal preference, really. Sometimes I like stuff cooked different ways. Maybe I cook a steak 3 or 4 different ways. Or cook my shrimp 4 or 5 different ways, or, you know, chicken. It's just it's good to switch things up and try different things until you know, if you had a restaurant, man, you probably want to stick with one pattern so the people that are coming, you know, keep coming for the same thing over and over again. But I don't have a restaurant. I'm playing around out here in the yard, and you know, I did one barbecue competition years ago. It was a ton of work. We did it on this. I had a big camper, and we went to it was a nightmare. I mean, the weather was a nightmare. It went from like 75 degrees. It was in November, Georgia November day, 75 degrees one day, 22 degrees the next, and raining. It was insane. But there was no spectators at the it was, the weather was so bad. By the time we came for competition time, it was the weather was just terrible. They had a battle of the bands. There was like 3 bands there with nobody watching them. I felt bad for those guys, but anyway, that was years ago, and we had a lot of fun. Of course, I had a big, huge camper, and my buddy Brent towed this up, and which it says smoker, and it was a lot of fun. May do some more in the future. Don't have a camper anymore, so spending the night 3 days in a row in a hot barbecue competition is not very appealing to me without somewhere to crash. So anyway, we're having fun with this Lang. We're learning a lot. I haven't had any more problems with my drain, except for that my drain pan wants to keep blowing away, but I had to put a little piece of wood in it. All right, guys, stick around. We'll keep up with the progress on this. Like I said, I'm going to try to throw some tallow on this throughout the day to keep it nice and moist, keep it from drying out, but we do want to get a bark on it. It's fat side down. First time for me ever cooking a fat side down brisket. And we're going to try not to wrap unless it looks like it's burning it up or something. If it does look like it's burning it up, I will wrap it. So stick around and see how she turns out. Threw out 3 racks of ribs and a Boston butt earlier. Not a happy camper. Those ribs were 40 bucks. 40 bucks for 3 racks of baby backs. Smelled rancid when I cut them open. Boston butt, same way. Expiration date was the 31st. Today is the 30th. I bought them Friday. They've been sitting in my refrigerator out here in the shop all weekend, which I know is cold because they're cold when I took them out, and it keeps my beer cold, and I know that's cold. Not happy about that. I'm gonna have to go have a conversation with the local Sam's here and see what's the deal with that, because there was a salmon the week before. I mean, dude, that's freaking 40, 50, 60, 70, almost $80 worth of meat that's no good. So man, I may have to start using a local butcher or something, get rid of the Sam's Club discount meat. Just not trusting that anymore. I'm losing my faith. The brisket did not smell bad. It was bought Friday. Today is Tuesday. It was bought last Friday as well. So I mean, it's a few days in the refrigerator, but let's see, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days. This will be the 5th day. So maybe, am I pushing it? Let me know in the comments. You think I'm pushing it too long in the refrigerator before cooking this stuff? I mean, I wouldn't think so. 4 or 5 days in the refrigerator, and it's not at the sell date yet. I mean, I could see if it was beyond the expiration date or the sell by date, and you should be frozen at that point. But I don't know. Caleb riding around on the 600. That thing's crazy loud. Still haven't got a muffler put on it. And if you watch my videos on the ATVs. Anyway, it's 11. I put this stuff on at 11, or I put the brisket on at 11. It's now 1:45. I have not lifted this lid since I put the brisket on. It's been maintaining between 250, 275 on the top rack over water. Pull it out so you can get a good visual. It's looking pretty good. This will be the first fritz. Up. Lang's getting it done. It's got good color already. I've been getting in the habit of keeping the lid, when I lower it back down, keeping it cracked where I can build temperature back up in the chamber. When it gets close to where I want it, I'll go ahead and shut it. And I always check my fire, which is going good. Pissed about my rotten meat. No bueno, man. Anyway, what can you do? Hopefully I'm not out 80 bucks. Hopefully they'll give me some credit or something. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they have people that come up and lie to them all the time about that stuff, but I can tell them it's on my YouTube channel. See if they pony up and give me some free meat or reimburse me for the meat, whatever. All right, well, also I can't ever find beef ribs there. I haven't cooked any beef ribs on here yet, and I'm dying to cook some. I just haven't had time to go hunt them down. Seems to be hard item to find in this area. I don't know. Probably need to hook up with a local butcher, I reckon. All right, so we're about 4.5 hours in. Sprayed it once with apple juice. We're gonna hit it with some tallow now. I mean, this is looking pretty good. I haven't temperature checked anything because I mean it's only 4 hours in. I don't even think there's any need to yet. But we're gonna hit it with a little tallow, or tallow. Excuse me. I don't know why I keep wanting to call it tallow. Beef tallow. It's rendered beef fat from my last brisket cook. I'm gonna just drizzle some on. I'll get a good coating going. Ooh, animals are gonna love me. All right, that's all I'm going to do there. Let's get it back in. Let it drip in there, not all over the grates and the grass out here. All right, let's check it. No wrap. 3 rounds of tallow. Ooh, it's kind of buttery. $170. Of course, you know we're not looking for 170. I'm looking for 200. We'll stick it right there. She's looking pretty damn good, man. I'll hit her with another round of tallow. I should have kept the trimmings off this one. I want to run out. That stuff looks good. All right, I'm liking the way that's looking. No wrap, 8 hours in. 174 degrees internal temp is what it's saying. We're gonna maintain our temp here. We don't have too much more to go. 7 o'clock. I'm thinking probably 10 o'clock. Probably 10, maybe. I don't know. I've never not wrapped one, so. And I've never cooked one fat side down. I don't know. And we're top racking. Top rack's my favorite on this thing. Of course, I've only done one on the bottom rack, and I think I had it too hot, and I was cooking it towards the firebox, I think. But we'll check on it here in a little while. Stay tuned. The hunt for the perfect brisket continues. Stick around. We're at 185 internal temp. Trying to keep this thing moist with this tallow. She is looking scrumptious. I think this may be, I mean, just from the looks of it, so far, this may be the best brisket I've ever done. I mean, it looks beautiful. You want to see? Let me widen this out. There is so much pollen in the air. I can see it blowing past my headlamp. I mean, it's crazy. Oh, that thing's jiggly. Oh man, it's only at 185 and it's jiggly. We got a little tallow left. We're going to use it all. Now let's go in the shop where we can talk and get out of the dark here. Let's see, it's at 185 degrees. It's 8:53. Let's just call it 9 o'clock at night. I figured it's going to take till 10. Hey, it may take longer. This thing went on at 11. It may go to midnight. Who knows? It was almost an 18-pound brisket, I believe, if I remember right. So, let me get a towel. I got stuff on my hand here. Got the tallow on the hand. I'm telling you, that brisket looks, I think it looks better than anything I've ever done. I'm excited. No, I haven't wrapped it. Still don't plan on wrapping it. Fat side is down. We're 185 internal. We're maintaining a good temperature today. It's been nice out. I mean, you can see on the wall at 9 o'clock at night, we're still at almost 70 in the shop with all the doors and the windows open, well, the back window open. So it's been a nice day, except for we've had some crazy events. I don't know if any of you guys watch any of my four-wheeler videos. The Grizzly 600 got hurt today a little bit. We got it out of the way. We had to shuffle some cars around, had to get the Dodge out of the shop to get the Mercedes in, do a little service work and diagnose a leaking tire, which ended up being a cracked wheel, a little AMG wheel there, expensive little wheel. Anyway, rode the little 600 around a few times. Caleb putted around on it and he wanted to wash it. And I was like, yeah, go ahead. So he washed it, and this is not his fault. The air intake boot for the air cleaner, the side of it has been eaten out by a rodent, and I haven't been able to get the top piece yet. I got a new air cleaner lid, whole air cleaner box. If you go back and watch that, I know that you probably don't care about this in a brisket video, but some people like this stuff. So anyway, he filled the air cleaner box up with water, and then he tried to start it and sucked a whole bunch of water into the motor. Hydrolocked it, a bunch of water came out. I drained the oil, a bunch of water came out of the crankcase, and I haven't been able to get the starter to work. So I don't know. We got some issues with that. Hopefully we can get it straightened out, but I'm not gonna let that bum me out because I'm looking at the best brisket I've ever cooked. I'm excited. I think tallow, don't throw it away. I threw the I threw it away from this brisket today. I shouldn't have, and I kept it from the last one, and I think I'll always keep it from here on out. Glazing that with that tallow, maybe the hot ticket. I sprayed it once with apple juice. I usually spray every hour with apple juice. I only sprayed once, and I've been just keeping that thing moist with tallow all day, and it's looking great. No wrap. I don't think we're going to have any risk of burning anything on that top rack over water pans. It's going to be good. I'm excited. I'm going to put that thing when we pull it off. I'm going to put it. I don't know if I'm going to wrap it in paper or not. I may wrap it in aluminum foil just to hold some temp better. I don't know if that's the best thing to do. Maybe I'll wrap it in paper. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm going to put it in a cooler. My normal routine for years is, but I was cooking on a green egg, was I'd pull it wrapped in aluminum foil. It had been in aluminum foil usually from 170 degrees to the 200 mark. I'd wrap it in beach towels, put it in my Yeti, let it sit for minimum of 3 hours and up to 12. I think that's what I'm going to do on this one. I don't think it's going to hurt my bark to put it in aluminum foil to rest. I think it's going to hold temperature more. I don't think I'm going to wrap it in paper on this one. I think I'm going to try aluminum foil. And it's just for the rest. So our bark's going to be set from it staying on the smoker as long as it has. Excuse me, this pollen is, insanely thick. Like I said, when I walk outside with my headlamp on, you can just see the grains of pollen in the air through the light. It's crazy. All right, stay tuned. I don't know if I'll do a pull. I don't know if I'll film the pull or not, but I'll definitely film in the morning if I don't. Of me getting it out, and we're gonna slice it up in the morning. Yeah, getting ready. All right, this thing just clicked off at 2:02. We're gonna get set up here. All right. Yeah, we're on. All right. Just gonna give you a look. This is a no wrap Lang cook. We started this at 11 in the morning. It's 12:42. So quite a long cook. I've never had bark like this. It's good. Look at this jiggly. It's got a good crisp to it. It's gonna be crunchy. Ain't no doubt about it. All right, so how I want to handle it. That's how I used to do it on the egg. It's hot. All right, we'll have to get some gloves. I want you to look at that jiggle. All right. Watch it wiggle, see it jiggle. Even flat. Almost has some jiggle to it. Look at that there. Man, that thing's got. Good grief. Oh, that looks so good. Ooh, just in time. It's about to start pouring down rain. We're expecting some flash flooding. And we don't need flash flooding during a barbecue, that's for sure. All right. All right, this thing is rested overnight. Never done one unwrapped. She's dark. There's no doubt about the moisture. I would say it's overcooked because it's just falling apart. It's not slicing very well. It is very tasty, very moist. Here you go, Bella. It's literally just falling apart. It is really good as a ton of flavor, good smoke ring. It just does not slice very well. I don't know if I let it rest too long. I pulled it at 200. Maybe my temperature gauge is wrong. Maybe my thermometer's wrong. It's cooked for a very long time, unwrapped. Never cooked one unwrapped. It's got excellent flavor. I mean, if you cut it thick, it'll hold itself together. Man, it is so tasty, though. Whoops. I'm sure you'll clean that up. The only thing I can think of is that my thermometer's wrong. Temperature gauge is off and it overcooked it. Either that or cooking it unwrapped like that for that long of a period of time just makes it fall apart. I don't know which one it is. I think I'm gonna have to get a new gauge, temperature gauge, thermometer, whatever, and meat thermometer, and compare it to the one I just used, which I've had for a while. Maybe there's something off there, calibration's out, but I'm not sure. This has a lot of flavor, got a lot of smoke in it. Is it the best one I've ever done? Absolutely not. I still haven't cooked one, I don't think, on the Lang that compares the way I used to do it on the egg. I just haven't got it mastered yet. It's a totally different cooking experience. You can see the juice running out of it. It's running all over the place. I'm making a huge mess, but this, like the point, is just falling apart. It's just like roast beef. All right, well, that wraps up this brisket video. Not real happy with this. Stop, Bailey. Not real happy with the turnout. Although the flavor is real good, it just doesn't slice like brisket. It's gonna make a great pot roast type meal. Well, still on the search for the perfect brisket on the Lang. Tune in next time and see if we can accomplish that. Thanks for watching.